And ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. All systems are go. The machine is just humming away. The hamster is running in the wheel, whatever you want to call it. It is go time here. MLG Anaheim, or rather MLG Spring Championship in Anaheim. That's probably a little bit more accurate. Up in the top left-hand corner here on Belshir is Bubbles. And now in the bottom right-hand corner is everybody's favorite, Quantic Hyun. Joj, I'm really excited about this. How about you?
Oh my gosh, I've been a huge Hyun fan since IPO. I got to actually see Hyun live when he came to Austin and played against Polt at the South by Southwest IPL show match. Hyun is like a fantastic Zerg player, and I am a little bit fanboying out right now. But man, this match should be just great. Hyun is known for his best of X theory, best of X mentality. And he went like an incredible IPL record when he was doing the fight night. He went like 14 series in a row without dropping a series. And obviously, things changed from best of whatever that was, best of 9 to best of 3s. But really, Hyun has unparalleled experience in best of X series. It's gonna be great.
It looks like hopefully he will continue that trend with MLG. This is an open tournament, though, so anything really can happen here. There is no groups. There is no way to really kind of strategize. It's just you get who you get. You don't know who's coming up next. And looks like Spawning Pool first very quickly. He's going to be playing it safe. And we can expect an expansion fairly soon here. He's starting to bank up. And the drone is already on the way, and we could see the green spot on the natural where he's going to put the drone and drop down that hatch in literally just a second. Does the probe get here to be able to stop it? No, indeed. It is not going to happen at all. That hatch goes down unobstructed. Meanwhile, up in Bubbles' base is very standard opener, not grabbing any gas early on. Going Nexus first, I would even say I wouldn't call that risky, because he's just going to go down the forge. There it is. So is it going to expand into the forge? We can expect to see a cannon and a gate shortly. Basically, once that forge finishes, the cannon will go down, and the gate will also go down after that. And things looking pretty standard as it sits right now.
Yeah, definitely. Bubbles was just, he started with that probe. He started at his pool first, knew that there was no gas, and so he was safe going that pylon, then Nexus, and then Forge, which looks really, really greedy, right? There's no defenses, but it's not that greedy when you know that your opponent can't possibly do anything about it anyway. So he goes for that Nexus first instead of Forge, just so you can get that just a little bit extra economy. And Hyun doing pool first, playing it safe, doesn't want to die to a cannon rush like Bubbles has been known to do. Earlier today, he 2-0'd Coach Park, and a lot of people aren't happy about that. And Hyun did not want to be part of that story at all, so he played it safe. And a couple of Lings actually will break this Photon Cannon. These Lings are going to get in. This Photon Cannon should be canceled.
No, it drops actually instead, and the Lings are going to start working away on the pylon. Things not looking so good at all for Bubbles. He's going to have to use workers to defend, and there's a good number of them here that he should be able to pull it off. But there's also a blocking pylon down in the third for Hyun, which is slowing down a little bit from being able to drop down the hatch. I think that he wants to do so. He is floating the minerals to be able to do that. And as you can see, the Ling's still continuing to work away on that pylon. It ultimately does fall. The Ling is just able to outmaneuver Hyun, doing everything in his power to try and keep these Lings alive, and to do as much damage as you can. And now that there's a Zealot out, well, they're going to be able to outrun the Zealot all day long, but the Zealot should be able to keep those Lings on their toes. But Bubbles does have a little bit of pressure right now. He's got to manage this. He's going to take care of them. I mean, it's not a huge threat. It's just an annoyance to try and shake him off his game. But also, additionally, and I should add, that right now, Hyun is getting a pile of scouting information. He knows how many gas have been taken. He knows how many workers, where they're at, and knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and more. I mean, in addition to that, these Zerglings have actually served a ridiculous amount of purposes. They've forced a lot of money to be spent on defense from Hyun. He built a cannon, got it killed, had to rebuild another one. He lost a pylon as part of the wall. And so that wall is actually weaker because there's a cannon where a pylon was. He had to rebuild the pylon. He lost a lot of mining time. Those Lings were heroes for Hyun. Because the Lings went straight to Bubbles' base, Hyun couldn't knock down the pylon that was at his third, so he delayed his third a lot and got 2 gas before third. This could open up. I mean, Hyun can play this relatively standard and just like, oh, I just reorganize the way my build gets gas and all this stuff. But Hyun could say, oh, I'm going to get a Roach Warren and I'm going to make a bunch of Roaches and attack. but it doesn't look like he's opting for this route. He's getting a pretty early layer, 7-minute layer, and will continue to tech up and drone up from there, it looks like.
Yeah, perhaps maybe a Roach Hydra play will be coming out of the works. I mean, that's something that he can pull off of 2-base reasonably well. We'll find out very soon as to what that's going to be once this layer finishes up. And with that third now literally finishing up, there is a Queen on site getting the injects in. Drones are transferring on over. So from a macro point of view, Hyun looking really, really quite good. A lot of workers, 51 to 37. Oh my goodness, that is a lot. And there is overlords literally placed all over the place, but more specifically able to see these third base location opportunities that can be expanded to by Bubbles. And I'm sure that Hyun's feeling quite good about the whole situation. Throwing down a couple of more gates, grabbing a Stargate as well. I'm interested to see what he does with that, whether or not he decides to go Void Ray or not. Is he getting good scouting information though? This is kind of something I'm asking myself. I know that he has a Zealot running out, and he has, so he's getting a little bit of a poke and seeing what his opponent is doing. He's not seeing any Roaches, he's not seeing any Hydras or any other units besides just Lings and Queens. So I'm pretty sure he knows what's going on, at least for some extent.
Yeah, and Hyun actually, there's 2 pylons at Hyun's natural or around there, and those pylons Hyun is spotted, and so Hyun makes a round of Lings and Roaches, and he's going to shoot this off. But behind this, Bubbles is not going for an expansion play. He's grabbing double Stargate and has actually, it doesn't look like he has really any inclination of teching further than that. He's not getting more upgrades on his Forge, and he's not getting upgrades on his Cybercore. So this could be to hit a particular timing against the third and maybe force maybe hit snipe the third of Hyun and then back away before doing anything else. But Bubbles is behind at this point. This Roach Ling play while taking a fourth is something Hyun's known for, and this will do quite a bit of damage, it looks like.
Yeah, and there's enough units here to apply a good bit of pressure here. He might even be able to actually take this natural, depending on how it goes. And good force field here, but I mean, eventually they'll run out of energy. Void Rays are now out and going to continue working. He is chrono boosting out the Void Rays as quickly as he can. It looks like that's the path he's going to go for. He wants to hit before any kind of Hydras or Mutos get out on the map. And it's going to go for some free kills off of these Roaches, and they are in quick retreat. Lings are also going to hold up and wait up for a second, but basically this Void Ray is going to just continue to go to town. Looks like another Void Ray is going to come on over towards the third, and Bubbles is going to try to expand over there. He's just going to have to wait for that creep to clear out, but like over on the left-hand side of the map, like you were mentioning, a good expansion, another expansion up and running, so that's just going to further perpetuate this awesome macro that's going on. And we do have the Hydralisks done with the Groove Spines, getting the additional range on the Hydralisks. Additionally, there's also double Evo Chambers getting missile attacks as it sits. We should expect to see Carapace fairly soon with the other one. There's only one reason you would have 2. This is so that you could do double pumping upgrades. And things looking really good for Hyun. It seems that he feels like he's in really good control here. Yeah,
this is definitely a playstyle that he's comfortable with. This is a really common playstyle. There's nothing crazy or gimmicky about going for double Stargate in and of itself. But this particular playstyle is pretty common on ladder, so Hyun is going to be pretty comfortable with what he sees. The fact that I'm sorry, go on.
Oh no, I apologize. I cut you off. Please, by all means.
No, well, basically, these Void Rays are going to come over here and they're going to snipe this fourth, and then they should run away, although Bubbles is losing quite a few Void Rays. There's a big counter, a huge counter at the third of Bubbles, and he's losing a lot of cannons, and these Zealot weapons plus the sentries, they should be able to clean this up, no problem. But that bought a little bit of time and did a little bit of damage for Hyun, taking his fourth, and Hyun is teching straight up the Hive. He's going to have a little bit of a later Hive because of the way that the game opened, but he's getting double upgrades, and he's going to go for Hydra Viper is what I would bet.
Yep, and Roach Hydra do show on up. Unfortunately, though, the Void Rays are too few and far between, and they are also horribly out of position. They're trying to catch on up, but there is enough Hydras here that he could focus fire down these Void Rays very, very quickly, and unfortunately, that looks like exactly what is going to happen, and Bubbles is going to have to retreat a little bit here with both the Stalkers on the right-hand side. This third does get a Photon Overcharge. That is going to help things a little bit. Another Warp-In cycle of Zealots is also going to help. Void Rays are falling out of the skies as the Hydralisks shoot them down. Stalkers are continuing to try and work away on the Hydras. Photon Overcharge helping out a great deal as well. And it looks like, for the most part, the Roaches have been killed off, but it's just Hydralisks now. And now that they've backed away from that Photon Overcharge of that Nexus, they are able to hold their own for just a moment. And that's going to give Bubbles just a moment to breathe, get a Warp and Cycle in, and try and regroup and gather himself.
Yeah, but at this point, you see that Hyun has a really large advantage with a little bit of a mineral bank that he needs to spend, but 160 supply versus 80, that's basically double the supply of Bubbles. And Hyun is taking a 5th base, he's getting his upgrades, he's getting Hydras, he's making Hydraling and Viper, and really this is kind of the death knell of Bubbles. He's going to try and hold on as long as he can because he's a good player, and he's come back from situations like this before, I'm sure. And it's MLG, right? You don't want to go out too early, but yeah, that's it. GG. He didn't have a way out of that.
Yeah, he didn't. It's hard to sit down, and I'm looking at this and I'm trying to think to myself, how could Bubbles have changed the outcome of this game? And I think he had it set in his mind that he wanted to go Stargate at the get-go, at the beginning of the match, and that's kind of the route he was going with. But I think the biggest instance that really hurt him was his inability to be able to manage at the very, very early game the Zerglings that were running around inside his base rampant. He was unable to hold his 3rd. That was a very big turning point because of the fact he was losing his 3rd. That set him back a good bit as well. He really was unable to really cross the halfway mark on the map in order to be able to instigate any kind of real pressure on Hyun. And we're going into the second game awfully quickly as well. And I stand corrected. It looks like it was just a premature launch there. We'll be back in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to do some quick commercials. I'm sorry, actually, I stand corrected. Joe, what do you have to add with regards to that game? How do you think it could possibly have ended?
Well, I mean, Bubbles was behind because of that opener. He did something that makes sense a lot of the time, right? So the Lings got into Bubbles' base and he took a lot of damage because he blocked the 3rd of Hyun and walled off his natural later. Normally, a Zerg player will send the first Lings that he makes to his 3rd and kill off the pylons so that he can take his 3rd on time and everything is gravy. But because of that delayed wall, because of that delayed cannon from Bubbles, and Hyun said, I'm not going to go kill that pylon, I'm going to go see what you're doing. And it worked out for Hyun. It could have gone way worse. He could have lost a ton of time, and that 3rd would have been way delayed. But it worked out, and he killed the photon cannon, he killed the pylon, forced a lot of mining time loss, he even killed some probes. Like, that opener put him way behind, and it gave Hyun all the information he needed to make the correct decisions to further his lead. And after that, I feel like he was waiting. He needed a misstep from Hyun in order to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just, unless there was a decent-sized mistake being made, I don't think there was a real opportunity there for him to be able to jump back into that game. I mean, he was close. He was like just that stepping stone away from being able to, okay, if I kill these, I'm good to go, and he can go push. But once the pressure started, it really didn't stop for the most part. And Bubbles is a Grandmaster player, so we can expect a lot of good things out of him. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to commercials for just a moment. I know you're like, oh, more commercials, but at the end of the day, we do precisely that. We'll be back in just a minute. Game number 2, Hyun versus Bubbles. We'll be back. Stay tuned. My name is Nightshade.
I'm Jojo. We'll see you back real quick.